It's opening day, part 3. No, it's not opening day, but it's opening weekend. We're going for the sweep. Let's see if the Cubs can get it done. Y'all ready to get it? It's time to go. Marcus Stroman making his Cubs debut today. Let's get it. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. It is the Wrigleyville South podcast. I am Chad. Welcome aboard. Welcome back. It is time to see if the Cubs can pull off this sweep. Had a very interesting game 2 yesterday, so now it's going to be a matter of seeing if the Cubs can get it done in what is going to be a very eventful and I don't know, but perhaps contentious game 3 today. It remains to be seen. I'm trying to get something loaded up here. Hopefully I can get it. Yeah, there we go. This one is ready to go. I just need to download it. Well, no, let's see. Actually, I might be able to share from here. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see. Let me go back. Bear with me for a second here. Is there a way to rewind this thing? Nope. All right. Well, I'm just gonna have to save it. Give me just a second. We're getting to it here. But yeah, so we got Marcus Stroman making his Cubs debut today. And we have Ian Happ out of the lineup for the Cubs because he got that beaning to the knee in I guess it was the 8th inning yesterday, 7th inning maybe. And so dealing with that, it's going to be interesting to see how the Cubs lineup performs in his absence because they've had to make quite a few adjustments. David Ross has to the lineup for today because Ian Happ not being available in the lineup. But there's also a few things where I think some of this is just a matter of bringing the best lineup out there against Freddy Peralta. You got Rafael Ortega in the first spot, and today he's playing in left field, taking Ian Happ's place on defense. He's been DHing the last couple of days, but he's going to actually take the field in left. Madrigal still in the 2-hole, batting there, playing second base. Jonathan Villar makes his debut as a Cub, playing third base, and I'm sure he's going to be hitting from the left side but he'll be available to switch in the later innings should they bring a lefty in. He's playing third. Alfonso Rivas actually playing first in the place of Frank Schwindel, trying to bring more left-handed bats. So you're going to have Ortega, Villar, Rivas, no Ian Happ. So that kind of hampers your ability there. But Hayward is still going to be in the lineup playing center field. He's batting 7th. But before we get to him, it'll be Seiya Suzuki moving up a spot in the lineup to the 5th hole, playing in right field as usual. And then Clint Frazier actually assumes the DH role today, batting from the right side in the 6th spot. Then, as we said, Hayward at 7 in center field, batting left. Yan Gomes at catcher, making his Cubs debut as well. He is the quote unquote personal catcher for Marcus Stroman. So he's going to be holding down those duties today in the 8th spot. And then, of course, Nico Horner as that second leadoff, playing short and batting in the 9 hole with Marcus Stroman on the mound, the battery of Marcus Stroman and Yan Gomes. But before we get into today's game, we got to get a little bit into what happened yesterday, because it was it got a little testy. And there are some Brewers fans and even Craig Counsell who seem to think that this is somehow some sort of even situation where perhaps, I don't know, Wilson Contreras or Keegan Thompson or the Cubs as a whole overreacted to Wilson Contreras getting hit yet again. But Wilson Contreras has been hit 15 times by the Brewers. There's something going on, and there's been some moments where Wilson Contreras has flipped the bat, or he's kind of maybe showboated a little bit after a very pivotal home run. He's hit a few of them at Miller Park, and so I don't know if there's maybe some bad blood there, where there's some hurt feelings, and so they just keep coming after him and hitting him. And look, Wilson Contreras is a man. There's some people saying he's something other, but his take on it is, all right, that's cool. Y'all don't like the way I flip the bat or the way I trot the bases when I hit a home run on you guys, or whatever the case may be. And so you're going to come at me trying to throw 95-mile-an-hour fastballs on my elbows and up under my chin. All right, bet. I'm going to bring it to you guys too. So obviously, with the pitcher not having to bat anymore in the National League, the only alternative you have is to go after and send a message to a prominent hitter on the opposing team. Not being able to throw at the pitcher to kind of get your pound of flesh in retaliation, as is the baseball way of policing itself. Andrew McCutchen became the target yesterday, and this was the second pitch after the first pitch nearly hit him. The second pitch, they actually got a piece of him. So here it goes. Keegan Thompson pitching against Andrew McCutchen, 9-0 lead, and this is what started the whole thing. McCutchen getting a little upset. To me, I'm just, get over it. Like, you hit Contreras multiple times in this series. You hit Ian Happ. You hit him on the knee, went up and in on Wilson Contreras multiple times. Craig Counsell and the guys coming out, like, this is kind of how this whole situation went down yesterday. You see Lorenzo Cain getting into it, and then Wilson Contreras, when Craig Counsell is going off on him, just started kind of going back at him like, hey, look, you started this. Like, this is you sent your guys to throw at me. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So Wilson Contreras is not in the lineup today. You got Yan Gomes catching, and Marcus Stroman. They're getting ready to take the field now. So what I wanted to do is just kind of be here to preview the game a little bit, but also to provide a bit of an environment for a watch party like we did for opening day, where we can actually just kind of go through and enjoy the game. So if you're watching the game, go ahead and you can simultaneously, you can listen to the game audio and listen to my commentary here, but we'll just kind of share our reactions to the game. So I want to hear you guys or see what you guys have to say in the chat, as we'll keep it live here. So if you want to chime in the chat, we will be more than willing to field your questions or your comments, and just kind of share the space together and enjoy this watch party together. Stroman not off to a great start, 2-0 count as he missed with those first two pitches. There's a nice little, that was a nice little sinker right on the outside corner, and at the knees, just below like the hollow of the knee. Could have been called a ball, but got the benefit of the call there. He just caught the bottom part of the zone, and then Colton Wong is going to ground out to first. So nice start to his Cubs debut for Marcus Stroman. Love seeing that. And so we are off to the races here. It'll be interesting to see if the Cubs can actually open up a little lead like they have the first couple of games. really just letting loose on the Brewers in game 1 and game 2. Game 1 got a little tighter. Brewers tied it up at 3, and then the Cubs took a 5-3 lead with the Nico Horner 2-run bomb. And then the Brewers made it interesting, cut it to a run, and were actually threatening. And the Cubs got it done. And there's a nice fastball to start off at the top of the zone away to Willie Adames. I like the way that Stroman approaches these at-bats. He's always aggressive. I know he started off with a 2-0 count to Colton Wong, but he tends to just attack the zone with that downward movement and basically dare guys to go after it, because he's trusting that his movement is going to keep that ball on the infield, keep it on the ground. And I just like the fire and the passion that he brings to his role with the Cubs, because that's one of the things, if you look at that roster, especially last year, apart from Jake Arrieta and maybe Trevor Williams, there were, and of course Craig Kimbrell to start the season, but like from a starting rotation standpoint, it was really Jake Arrieta as Marcus Stroman picks up a strikeout on Willie Adames. That was he pulled the string on that one. That was really nice. But Jake Arrieta and Trevor Williams were really the only two, I would say, like fiery guys. And even Trevor Williams was kind of subdued a little bit, and Arrieta was not at his best. So it's kind of hard for him to really, really get energized. Marcus Stroman comes, I'm not going to say he has a chip on his shoulder, but he's got a little swagger to him. He's very confident, and he's very, he's got a high energy level. And I like that. Like he keeps it under control and he does his job, but he is not what I would say is quiet. And you need a little bit of all of those things. That's why if you saw in that dust up yesterday, so Andrew McCutchen, very vocal. Wilson Contreras, very vocal. Jason Hayward was very vocal. And you had Lorenzo Cain was very vocal. And you've had some of those guys that that have that sort of fiery. Anthony Rizzo was like that, like really. You contrast like KB to Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo was so much more like, he's the one who went to the dugout against the Reds back in 2014, and when Aroldis Chapman, and that was just a tough play. They had Christian Yelich dead to rights. That ball was right up the middle, going right to Nick Madrigal, and Marcus Stroman reached his glove out to try to knock it down. Got a piece of it, but actually like deflected it right between, or maybe it was going towards Horner, and it went right between, just split the shift, and so it got Yelich on to first base, but not to be denied. Marcus Stroman quickly works through the first inning, 12 pitches and 3 outs with the lone single off of his glove from Christian Yelich. Otherwise, it would have been a 3-up, 3-down inning. But I'm not mad about it. Like getting through those 4 guys and having them come up with their 5th spot to start the second inning won't be bad. So Cubs coming to bat. But what I was saying is the contrast of Anthony Rizzo and his fire, and the fact that like he went and challenged that Cincinnati Reds dugout back in 2014 when Aroldis Chapman threw at I can't remember who it was, but came up at his head, and same kind of situation. And the Cubs, that was one of those moments where you saw the Cubs kind of galvanize. Then you contrast that to Chris Bryant when he comes over, like just super quiet. Like KB never got into it with anybody. Never, like, you know what I mean? Like he's just not the kind of guy who starts a fight or finds himself in a fight or anything like that. Whereas Rizzo kind of carries that swagger, and he's like in a way sort of an enforcer. And you saw that yesterday with Jason Hayward. He's really embraced his role as one of the leaders on this team, because he's one of the most veteran guys, and he's the guy who's been there the longest outside of Kyle Hendricks. because he was on the 2016 roster before they even called up Wilson Contreras, and those are the only three guys left on the roster from then. So I think David Ross and Jason Hayward have that that sort of camaraderie where even as player and manager, they were teammates on that 2016 team, and they see in each other the type of leadership that is needed from both spots. David Ross providing his managerial leadership, but Jason Hayward providing his veteran player presence leadership, where for some of these younger guys, and in the case of like a Wilson Contreras or Ian Happ, when they did what they did yesterday and took basically got Keegan Thompson ejected from the game for throwing at Andrew McCutchen, and it was harmless. Like he didn't go at his head or anything like that. That's the thing that sort of frustrates me about this, is that there are people who are claiming that Wilson Contreras is somehow being childish or immature or whatever it is for being upset about this. They've buzzed his tower a few times where they've come up and in, up into his elbows, into his hands. He's gotten hit in the hands multiple times, gotten hit in the wrist, gotten hit up near his shoulder. Like, this is stuff where it's starting to get close to your head, and then the bones in your hand where they could put you out of commission for a while. Throwing the ball at somebody's rear end to send a message is not the same. So this notion that somehow it's off limits to do what they did, and also that somehow Wilson Contreras is being a baby about this is nonsense. But what you saw was Jason Hayward, he charged in from center field to stand up for his guys, to basically, in no uncertain terms, let Craig Counsell and that entire Brewers dugout know that we're not going to put up with this crap anymore. And y'all want this to end, then you end it on your end, because we're done with it. We're not putting up with it anymore, and we're going to do our part to stand up for our guys. So I really appreciated that. And Rafael Ortega leads off for the Cubs. Freddy Peralta has worked it to a 2-2 count now. So I know we're gonna hopefully see if the Cubs can jump out to a quick lead like they have in the first two games. But either way, whether they do or not, I feel pretty good about the Cubs' chances today, because I love Marcus Stroman on the mound. Like I said, he has the potential to provide a different type of leadership. Kyle Hendricks is the guy who is that steady, stoic, even-handed presence in that rotation and in that dugout, in that clubhouse. But what Marcus Stroman brings to the table is that sort of hype, that energy level. That kind of reminds me of Jake Arrieta and John Lester as that type of leadership. Kyle Hendricks is so subdued and so quiet that I don't really expect the fiery, get people hyped and pumped up sort of leadership from him. And Rafael Ortega works a leadoff walk. This has kind of been a theme in this series so far, that control issues for the Brewers pitchers have gotten them in trouble early in games. And so let's see if the Cubs can cash in here as Nick Madrigal steps to the plate. The key thing here, as he's a great contact hitter, is just stay out of the double play. Let's make sure that when we put the ball in play, that we're finding a hole, and maybe you may see something where Rossi may try to hit and run, try to put Ortega in motion, trusting that Madrigal is going to put the ball on bat. Quick strike, so it's 0-1. That kind of dampens the possibilities of that hit and run, or sending Ortega, because now it's 0-2. So now you do welcome and open up the possibility for the pitch out. So you got to be careful here. You want to stay out of the double play here. That's the biggest, most important thing, getting that early base runner. But yeah, so I look at Marcus Stroman bringing that type of energy level that you saw from Jake Arrieta, John Lester, and even in the 2016 and 17 seasons, John Lackey kind of brought that same sort of bulldog type mentality. That's what Stroman brings. Is that if there's a personality that I would most say he embodies, it's that Lester Lackey Arrieta, where when it's a big moment and he gets out of the inning, finds his way to make it happen. Wow, that was close. Magical hit a little pop up, and Ortega strayed a little bit too far off the bag and almost got doubled up on a pop up out into shallow right field. Colton Wong running out there, turns around, makes a really nice throw, but Ortega gets back just in time, it seems. Let's see. Yeah, he's in. He's safe. It was very close, though, but I don't think they shouldn't challenge this. And even if they did, they're not challenging it. Even if they did, I don't think they had a leg to stand on. So good on them for not challenging it. Smart move. But I don't know. It would have been, I kind of wish they had, because they would have lost the challenge. But yeah, so that bulldog mentality of like when you're in a tight situation and you find a way to get out of it, and you see the guy come off the mound and he's fired up and he's pumped. Kyle Hendricks could have the bases loaded and nobody out and find a way to strike out his way through that and get out of it. And he would still walk off the mound the same way that he would walk off the mound if he had just given up 3 runs. Like there's no difference. And Rafael Ortega has gotten thrown out stealing again. This is the second time in 3 days, and it's really not close. Like, he's getting thrown out by a good bit. Those throws, both throws in both games were way offline. But he's out so far that it doesn't even matter. Colton Wong caught that thing about 10 feet up the second base line, and he still tagged him on the rear end. So Jonathan Villar swung through it. He was trying to protect him, but the pitch was a little too far outside. I'm not sure if it was a pitch out per se, but it served as a pitch out just about, because it was well off the plate. And so what we're going to probably do here is we're probably going to go through the first couple of innings, and then I'm going to bounce, because I have some other stuff that I need to take care of today. But I just wanted to give a little preview of this game, a little further breakdown of what happened yesterday, and then also take us through a couple of innings of this game so we could just enjoy together. Hopefully the Cubs jumping out to an early lead. And that was very close. Good eye by Jonathan Villar. And so now we'll get to see Alfonso Rivas come up. So this is the cool part of what Rossi has done with this lineup, not really letting Freddy Peralta get into an early rhythm with his breaking ball away from a right-hander. Having 3 out of the first 4 hitters left-handed, I think was a really good strategy. Unfortunately, Ortega getting thrown out stealing really put a damper on what could have been a potential big inning for the Cubs, or at least a better scoring opportunity, because a couple of pitches later, VR ends up drawing the walk, and it would be first and second right now. And Ortega did not get a very good jump, and he was thrown out by quite a bit. So not sure if that was a hit and run, or if it was just a straight steal. Appeared as though it was at least a run and hit, because VR did take a pretty ugly swing at a pitch off the plate. It looks like he was up there and was instructed to protect. And there's a little dump into center field by Alfonso Rivas. Nice piece of hitting there. And so that will bring our guy, Seiya Suzuki. So let's see if the newest addition to the Cubs roster, Seiya Suzuki, can actually well, I shouldn't say the newest addition, but the newest addition to the lineup anyway. In the offseason, the 5-year, $85 million man from Japan, see if he can get it done here. First and second, 2 outs, and up to the plate steps Seiya Suzuki, batting .400 on the year. Couple of walks. I think all of his outs so far that have counted as at-bats have been strikeouts. He did have the sac fly yesterday that it was an out, but it doesn't count as an AB because he drove the run in. Ooh, all right. That was interesting. A little bit. That was a generous call on that pitch up and away. Gave them the strike, gave Peralta the strike. Already 20 pitches here in the first inning for Freddy Peralta. And another pitch up and away, this time out of the zone, and it's 1-1. So, I don't know. We still have that potential for a big inning. Let's see if Seiya Suzuki can bid this ball sayonara and put the Cubs on the board. Wind blowing across from right to left. I wouldn't say necessarily it's blowing out to left. It is blowing across. So I do think if you put a ball up into the air towards left center field, it will blow towards like the power alleys and the shorter porch there, because you have that deep sort of cavern in the well out there down the lines, but then it curves in and it's a lot more shallow in the 350s down the lines, and then only in the low 370s, 360s in the power alleys, or at least as you come a little bit off the foul line. 2-1 now as that slider is low and away, and Peralta trying to see if he can get out of this inning, and another pitch outside of the zone. Looked like they tried to back pick Jonathan Villar, but no one was covering. So now 3-1. So Suzuki's in a good spot to hit here. This is a good chance for him to get a good look at one here. Let's see if he can remain disciplined and if Freddy Peralta will actually pitch to him or if he will pitch around him and send it down the order to let's see, who's batting sixth today? Clint Frazier in the DH spot. Due up next. Oh, yowza! Sayonara! There it is. Seiya Suzuki, first career home run for the Cubs. Let's go. 3-0. He jumped on that one. Wow. Man. He tattooed that ball, y'all. Holy cow. Welcome to Wrigleyville South. And holy smokes, 111 miles an hour off the bat. Wow. That was a bomb. He crushed that ball. Like I said, wind was blowing across from right to left, and Freddy Peralta just left one up a little bit, about, I don't know, belt high to belt to chest high, and Suzuki just destroyed it. Man, you gotta love that. And here's Clint Frazier. Let's not sleep on this Clint Frazier at bat, because he comes in. I'm expecting big things out of him this year, and if he can regain his 2019-2020 form, Cubs could be in for a nice resurgence where they get to capitalize on what the Yankees threw on the trash heap. What a smash from Seiya Suzuki. Wow, that was impressive. And so now that is 6 RBI on the year for Mr. Suzuki. And Peralta still struggling to find the zone. And see, that's the thing. Like, when you see a guy who doesn't have full command of everything, all it takes is you get into a 3-1 count in a pressure situation where you've got first and second, and you don't want to give in and load the bases. He tried to just be safe, and he let that one leak back over the plate. I'm still waiting to see a replay of it, because that was an absolute bomb. Oh, wow. Blue, you gave him that one. You gave him that one. Clint Frazier strikes out looking on a pitch that was a good ball and a half off the plate. Yeah, that thing leaked right back over the middle of the plate, inner half, inner third, and I mean, right about chest high, maybe a little lower, but whew, he got every single bit of that thing. Love to see it. Love to see it. Congratulations, Seiya Suzuki, and that was a beautiful thing, a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. Happy for him. Happy for the Cubs. Like that's the big thing. Like you want to see an investment like that start to pay off early, because we saw it with Jason Hayward. Cubs gave him the big contract. He struggled to start the season. He never really got out of that. Then the questions started to come about the money and whether he was worth it and all this stuff. And you can't help but think that stuff starts to weigh in on the psyche. And baseball is such a psychological, cerebral game that Hayward never let it diminish his defense. He's always been a pure professional as a defender, but I don't know. I don't want to say that he has been trying to do too much and that it's affected him that way, but you can't help but think that it might, right? You know, like it's just it's very possible that sort of stuff starts to seep in. So let's see if Marcus Stroman with this 3-0 lead can actually start putting together a little bit of a I don't know, just go out there and push. Just keep dotting the I and forcing them to make plays, forcing the Brewers to put bat on ball, and don't make it easy on them. No walks, nothing easy, and work your way through with this 3-0 lead. Should give him a lot of confidence. Keep the ball down. Yeah, wow, belt high, just right there. He destroyed it. So yeah, it's yowza. that was a good piece of hitting right there. So I'm gonna go see if I can get that so I can share that with you guys, because that'll be very very fun to walk through as we kind of break it down, because he got a hold of that one. That was a bomb. And I love it. I love every minute of it. It's great to see. I really dig that kid, man. He's what is he, 27 years old, and coming over here to the States and just already right off the plane getting it done as a Cubs player. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think there's more where that came from, you know. He's gonna be a heck of an addition. So 2-2 count now as Stroman works here in the top of the second, pitching to Rowdy Tellez. And important to get, after you just got given that 3-run gift in the first inning, important to come out here, get a shutdown inning, get this first guy first, and then work your way through. Get back to the dugout with no damage done, and that's a good way to get it started. A little flip, gotta love it. Ground out to first, and we are in business, moving our way through the second inning as Rowdy Tellez grounds out. So now we're into the latter part of the order for the Brewers, and Stroman continues to work. He's commented a lot about how he really likes the way Yan Gomes sequences and works through his game plan. So I'm excited about that, just to see how these two guys continue to work as this season progresses. And so far, so good. Like I've loved everything I've seen so far. The only blemish so far for Marcus Stroman has been that that ground ball right up the middle that he tried to put his glove on as it was going through. And if he had just let that thing go, it's an easy 4-3 put out, but instead he tried to reach for it, and he got a piece of it, unfortunately, and deflected it into center field. So, it happens. Can't complain too much about it. All right, so I'm trying to find a way to, not like that. All right. Yeah, I'm about to set this thing up so that we can give it a listen. Or, give it a watch. You know what I mean? So 1 out, and Marcus Stroman working to Hunter Renfroe. 3-1 count, though, as he has allowed Renfroe to see a little bit more. 21 pitches, though, through an inning and a third. That's a good pitch, Blue. Where are you at? That was a strike last inning. Come on now. Oh, well. Hang on just a second. I'm going to have to do something real quick. Need to just a second. Get one little touch up here I've got to do. I forgot about this. Kill the audio. Da, da, da. Actually, I'm going to do this here. So, did that. If you bear with me, I'm doing a little video editing here while we're live. Hopefully you don't mind. I'm doing this for the people so that y'all get to see this glorious home run from Mr. Suzuki. So let me swap that out and get this one. Give it just a second. So Stroman working here in the top of the second with a man on first and 1 out, and we're at a 2-0 count. So out of his last 7 pitches, he's thrown 6 balls. So this is not the way you want to work your way through this part of the order. You want to get out there and make quick work of them. There's a swing and a miss that helps. So as Omar Narvaez works here with a 2-1 count, Stroman trying to see if he can get a ground ball, get out of this inning real quick, send it to the bottom of the second and the bottom of the Cubs order. Yeah, it was. And there it is. Oh, nope. All right. So runner on the move on the pitch. So Hunter Renfroe makes his way to second base on that ground out to Alfonso Rivas. But yeah, that was a very, very nice bomb. I'm assuming that's Boogie. I see I3 Oogie. It looks like it says Boogie to me, so I'm going to go with Boogie. I don't know if Rivas could have gotten him at second, but with a 3-0 lead, you get the out. Outs are at a premium. You don't want to extend the inning. Stroman's a little perplexed as to why he didn't try to get the out at second, but perhaps he just wasn't feeling it. So I'm not gonna question him. I think he did what he did for a reason. So I'm sure that'll be something that they'll discuss as a group. All right, so let's see. So I got this thing. Almost got it set up for you guys. If you just bear with me for a second, I'll have it here shortly. So let's see. Oh yeah, this is gonna be perfect. All right, so here we go. Give me just a second, and it's gonna be on its way. And there's a ground ball. Cubs are gonna get out of the inning. Let's go. All right. So Stroman does his job. He gets not a 3-up, 3-down inning. Had to work a little bit, but that's what you need. You just need a shutdown inning. You need to put that goose egg on the board after you got that 3-0 lead. What you don't want to do, if you're the offensive team, what you want to do, you give up a big inning like that. What you want to do is come back and counterpunch. And if you can prevent that counterpunch as the starting pitcher, then you put yourself in a much better situation going forward, giving yourself an opportunity to win the game. So Love what Stroman did there as he was able to make it happen. And while we are in this commercial break, I am going to endeavor to pull this video clip up. Give me just a second. But yeah, Boogie, that was an excellent, that was a bomb, bro. Like he put a hammer on that one. Boogie, I haven't seen, this is the first time I've seen you here in the chat. So while you're here, if you don't mind, go ahead and give the channel a subscription and set up your alerts, because I go live. I'll just pop up. I'm going to be doing a lot of these either game previews or post-game wrap-ups, but also we'll do some of these little watch parties like I'm doing here. Gonna do some later on. I'm gonna do some breakdowns of different things as we get later on into the season, and we'll go into some more of the strategic stuff. And then as the season gets deeper and deeper, playoff scenarios and things like that, and like previews of the upcoming stuff on the series. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I don't want to pull the flag out all the way just yet. Hanging on to it because we got to secure this sweep here before I'll pull that thing out. But yeah, and while you're at it, as a Cubs fan, I'm sure you have other friends who are Cubs fans. So share this with your friends and let them know, because this is going to be a great place. What we want to do is I want to provide a community. I'm from down here in the South. I'm from Louisiana. That's why the name of the channel is Wrigleyville South, or the name of the podcast is Wrigleyville South, as Hayward steps to the plate. But the idea here is to provide a community where we can just kind of come together as Cubs fans. And I want it to be like we're at a bar, just sitting around having a beer. Speaking of which, you know what? I got to thank the fam for, I'm going to go ahead and pop this Guinness open right here. It's time. I'm going to pretend like I'm in the park, and we're going to just knock one back. Let's get ready to fly this W, everybody. I know it's only the second inning, but we're going to enjoy this. Like I said, I want the environment here to be like we're sitting at the bar watching the game together. And so these watch parties, that's what I want it to be like. I just want it to be an environment where you can come and drop your comments. I'll put them up there. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and do this now. No old style, no. So I'm in Louisiana. I'm going to try to find some, either that or I'm going to find some Goose Island, some 312, because that's some good stuff too. But yeah, I don't have any old style here at the house. I will try to find some. That's actually a really good idea. Bust out the old style. But yeah, my favorite. I'm a dark beer drinker, so my favorite is the old Guinness. But I do like the Goose Island stuff too. So, but yeah, that's I appreciate that. That was a funny one. And now we have Yan Gomes stepping to the plate, making his Cubs debut in the lineup. And in the batter's box, and already off to a 1-0 start. So let me get this video now that I have it ready. Let me get it saved into the archive here so I can pull it up. And we are just about ready. Yeah, this is going to be fun. And I'm going to do some, like I said, I'm going to do some breakdown videos as we get later on into the season. A lot of stuff. Ooh, he touched that one. Drops down into the corner, right into the well in left field, right down the line. And Gomes is aboard with a 1-out double. Got to love it. I got to be careful. I can't do like play-by-play or anything like that. But I will just kind of, I'll comment on things. So, while we are waiting for the next man to step up, in case you didn't get a chance to watch it, I want everybody to have a chance to see this. This is a beautiful thing. This is the debut, the first home run off the bat of Seiya Suzuki. Watch where this pitch is. It's right down Main Street, and he just crushes it. That was a hanging slider, 81 miles an hour, and he just deposits it about halfway up the left field bleachers. Just crushed it. You gotta love that. And as I say, whenever he hits one out like that, it's sayonara for sure. As he let me I'm not Japanese, so my accent's going to be terrible, but let me try anyway. Sayonara. Let me not Americanize it too much. I mean, it's probably bad enough as it is, but I'm trying, and I say konnichiwa and arigato to all of our Japanese fans who have come in. I noticed as I started doing this, like when I first launched this podcast, it was a couple of days before, and there's another knock right down the line. Is that foul? Oh, wow. Nico just missed. He just missed that one, and it lands foul. But anyway, right after I launched the podcast, the Cubs signed Seiya Suzuki. And so I just start doing stuff about like the fact that he signed, and then about what we can expect from him. And then like he hits his first home run in the spring training games, and then he hits his second home run. And I start to notice, holy cow, like I'm getting all these views and they're all from Japan. So I was like, well, all right, let me start talking to the folks who are coming over from Japan. So forgive me if I mix in a little of my terrible Japanese speaking into the games. But I'm just trying to be friendly to the folks who come to us via Japan to see our new main man, Seiya Suzuki, get his bombs on. So anyway, we're having a lot of fun with that. I'm loving it. Like this is when you go out and you get Marcus Stroman, and then like let's not sleep on the Wade Miley signing because that was a big deal. Even though he's going to be on the shelf for another probably 3 or 4 weeks, getting him into the fold was a big deal before the lockout. And now Nico Horner. Oh wow, Yelich kind of got turned around. He was backpedaling. I think he misjudged that one. I think he thought it was going to be a little more shallow than it ended up being. But Nico got a nice swing on that one. Just didn't have enough. 98.9 off the bat. Yeah, he smoked that ball. It happened to be right at Yelich, and Yelich almost misplayed that into like a double or a triple. that was kind of crazy. But yeah, that Wade Miley signing and the Marcus Stroman signing right before the lockout started. I didn't, or not. It wasn't a Wade Miley signing. They claimed him off waivers. But that was not a small thing. That was the Cubs signaling, okay, we're not completely tanking. We're actually going to try to put a competitive team on the field because this year the NL Central is sort of up for grabs. And you're really seeing that now. I know it's early, and I don't want to overplay, 2 games and, an inning and 2/3. But the Cubs are up 3-0 right now, on their way to a potential sweep of the odds-on favorite from everybody up and down in your media punditry, the people who claim to be the experts on this stuff. The Brewers were the team that everybody expected to win this division. Okay, and if you start the season off 3-0 and put them at 0-3, and you've made some of the moves that you made, and then you come out of the lockout after all that time, all that downtime, and in addition to those additions that you made to the starting rotation, you come out and you sign a guy like Seiya Suzuki, who was the premier free agent coming out of Japan since Shohei Ohtani. That's not a small thing. And the other thing is, too, I think they got him super cheap. The dude has proven like he can smash, okay? So getting him for only $15 million a year for 5 years or $17 million a year, that's not a small feat. I know it's still a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, first of all, with inflation being the way that it is, $17 million a year in 3 years might seem like next to nothing. And you see, I mean, look at what the Mets did with Max Scherzer. I know I'm not saying Suzuki is Max Scherzer, okay? But Max Scherzer is going to be 40 when that contract ends, or close to 40. And they're paying him $43 million a year. That's 3 years of Seiya Suzuki. So, or 2.5 years, whatever. As Ortega draws another walk. So it's first and second with 2 outs. And Freddy Peralta continues to struggle to find the strike zone. And now you got Nick Madrigal coming up. You got a guy who's struggling to find the strike zone and a great contact guy, super plate discipline guy in Nick Madrigal. Peralta has already thrown 47 pitches. This could be the 3rd pitcher in a row that where the Cubs start to put some pressure on that Brewers bullpen, because this is how you get it done. And this is one of the things I was excited about with this lineup coming into the season. You got guys like Madrigal and Horner, who are supreme plate discipline guys and great contact guys who rarely swing and miss and almost never strike out. And then a guy like Seiya Suzuki, who brings that power with that plate discipline, that supreme hitting with that plate discipline. And you mix that in with guys who are like just mashers, like Patrick Wisdom and Ian Happ and even Wilson Contreras, who maybe don't have that same contact rate, and maybe swing and miss a little bit more, but they are a huge threat. You have those guys smattered all throughout the lineup, and then you bring in a Clint Frazier. You've got your Jason Hayward for defense mostly. But then you also have your either Rafael Ortega and then Frank Schwindel. Let's not sleep on Frank Schwindel. Dude had a 900 OPS last year. It's really, yes, exactly. The plate discipline that has been shown so far has been really impressive. And now you've got 51 pitches through 2 innings for Freddy Peralta. That's how you get it done. You get into those guys early. You work these long at bats because the Cubs are up 3-0. They've had 6 base runners on. You had Ortega got thrown out trying to steal, and then Suzuki hit a 3-run homer, and then I think they got another guy on after that, maybe, or did Frazier get on? No, he didn't. But anyways, then you get another 2 guys on, leave them on base here in the second, but you've batted all the way through. You've sent now 11 guys to the plate in 2 innings and 51 pitches. You're almost at 5 pitches per plate appearance thus far. That's what you need to do. That's how you grind through a starting pitching staff and work into the early part of a team's bullpen where they're lesser relievers. You're not getting into those high leverage guys. So now that we're in a little bit of a down period here where we are back in commercial break mode on the game broadcast, let's watch this one more time. Let's watch Seiya Suzuki bid sayonara to this hanging slider from Freddy Peralta. Look at that. Oh, shoot, man. I said halfway up. It was probably 3/4 of the way up. He destroyed that ball. I'm excited. I'm pumped. So when they came out of the lockout and they signed Suzuki, I was like, okay, they're not BSing around. The trades that they made, if you go back and look at what they did last year, and it really stinks that Cody Heyer got hurt during the lockout, because he had the potential to really make this back end of the bullpen dominant. They still are going to have a solid back end of the bullpen, but having a guy who throws that hard and is as effective as he has the potential to be is going to be tough to overcome. They're going to have to mix and match, but they brought in some guys, and so like back to the rotation, bringing in Drew Smyly, that's a big deal. And Justin Steele emerging. Look at what he did yesterday. Justin Steele is legit. And you've got some other guys coming up, Caleb Killian and even like Ethan Roberts, who made the team for opening day. It's a big deal. So let's see what this is. What? Oh, I don't know what they're talking. They were just showing some tweet from Marcus Stroman. I don't know what it's about. Anyway, don't really care. Honestly, I don't know. It may be interesting, but I wasn't paying attention. But then you go in and you bring in Drew Smyly to help out. You've got Wade Miley when he comes back healthy. You've got 6 or 7 guys who could, and Alec Mills. Let's not forget Alec Mills. So, Hendricks, then Steele, then Stroman now. You're going to have Alec Mills. You got Keegan Thompson as a guy who can work his way in. Drew Smyly, of course. Wade Miley when he comes back healthy. And then you still have some of these guys in the minors. And we haven't even talked about Braylon Marquez. If he takes his next step or two, he could be a real force. Perhaps not in the rotation, but maybe as a 2 or 3 inning guy out of the bullpen, especially as teams go more and more to this let's just get the first 2 runs through the batting order with our starter, and then let's hand it over to the bullpen, because you got so many quality arms in baseball these days. It's not just, I mean, people like to talk about the fact that, guys don't throw as many innings, and I get it. Like, on a certain level, it's true, but the hitting science has gotten so advanced, and you have so many more guys who can actually throw either super high velocity or through some of the pitching science. They're able to generate such great spin with the ball that they're not just the guys that you used to have back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, where you had a 4-man starting rotation because those were the only guys you really trusted. And those guys pitched 7, 8, 9 innings. And if you went to the closer, it was to close the game, and that was it. That was your bullpen, was the closer. And that was it. You didn't have a 6th inning guy, a 7th inning guy, an 8th inning guy, and a 9th inning guy, or like a patchwork quilt of 6th and 7th inning guys, and then hand it off to your high leverage guys at the end. No, you had your arms that you trusted, and if somebody other than the closer came in out of the bullpen, teams started licking their chops. It wasn't you remember the Astros back when they had like Octavio Dotel and Brad Lidge and Billy Wagner. All 3 of those guys became closers for other teams. And you had all those guys in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning for one team. And then you go to like what the Cubs had back in 2016 with Aroldis Chapman closing things out. And Hector Rondon was the closer before that for the whole first half of the season, and was hardly used because the Cubs were just boat racing so many teams. It's a different game now than it used to be. So building that bullpen is really important. And sometimes it's just a matter of having several quality arms that you can go to just to get 3 or 4 outs, and maybe just 2 or 3 outs. And maybe, it's because I know you got to pitch to a couple of batters. So, we're in Louisiana. Okay. I didn't see that. My bad. I'm in Baton Rouge area. So, yeah, that's cool. Your wife has family in the New Orleans area. It sucks that the New Orleans area doesn't have a minor league team anymore. They did, up until a couple of years ago. And that was actually the place that I used to lean on to go and watch, Cubs prospects come up. They would play, the Iowa Cubs would play in New Orleans a couple of times a year, and a couple of series a year. So 6 games or 7 games, depending. And that was really fun. My boys got to meet Albert Almora, Ian Happ, Jamer Candelario, Matt Caesar, a handful of guys. And so it's, I don't know, it's just, it stinks to not be able to do that. My younger brother and I actually we were at the game. I've talked about this before on the show, but we went to the game where it was Chris Bryant's last minor league game before he got called up. And he hit a home run in New Orleans, and we both had to work. And so we're hurrying up to get over there. We get there just in time to get out of the car, run to the ramp, hand our tickets to the ticket taker, and start walking up the ramp. And as we do, we hear the crowd roar. And we're like, oh, okay, what's that? That sounds cool. What just happened? So we get up the ramp, and as we're walking in, they see us in our Cubs gear and everything. And a couple of the fans are like, oh man, y'all just missed Bryant's home run. I was like, oh my God. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Like, we literally missed it by 5 minutes. Like if we missed it probably by 45 seconds. If we had gotten there 5 minutes earlier, we would have been in our seats when it happened. Uh-oh. Well, that one's gone. So a two out bomb from Willie Adames cuts it to 3-1. And that's why you want to keep people off base when you got a 3-0 lead. You got to keep people off base because it looks like the wind is carrying at least a little bit towards left field. So you definitely want to minimize the damage. So a solo home run when you're up 3 is not ideal, but it could be worse. But yeah, so the New Orleans area, love it over there for that time when they had it was the New Orleans Zephyrs, and then it was the New Orleans Baby Cakes. And I'm not surprised that they don't have a team anymore when they named them the Baby Cakes. Like, what were you thinking? It's a terrible name for a baseball team. Terrible name for a sports team, period. But yeah, so the Cubs lead 3-1. Christian Yelich at the plate now, and Stroman working to him. 1-1 count. He's up to 46 pitches. See if he can get out of this third inning under 50 pitches and move things along. Let the Cubs see if they can answer with this 3-1 lead. But yeah, while we're here, if you guys don't mind, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Share this with your friends. If you got friends who are Cubs fans, share this around. Let them know, because like I said, this is going to be a spot where you can come, and whenever there's a game where I'm doing a watch party, I'm not going to be able to do it for all of them. I do have a job, so I can't. And the Cubs play during the day a lot. But when I can, I'm going to do everything I can to try to be here for some game watch parties, so that we can enjoy these epic Cubs moments for this 2022 season together. And Stroman, so he didn't get out of the inning with 50 pitches. He is at 50 pitches now, and it's a 3-2 count on Yelich. And I'm going to build a little ticker down here, because I forgot about that, but I need to remind you guys to like, to share, and to subscribe and whatnot. So let me do that. Oh, shoot. Let's go, Stro. Come on. He's pitching him well, but Yelich is just fighting him off. So can't necessarily complain. All right, there we go. Add that one and pop it up. Ooh, shoot! No, I don't want it to look like that. Hang on just a second. Let me rebuild this thing. What? Wait. Oh, there we go. I fixed it. My bad, y'all. All right, now we got it. There we go. All right. Now, life is happy for me anyway. All right, let's see if you can get out of this one. Oh, he walks him. All right. Well, look, Christian Yelich, as bad as he's been the last couple of years, he still scares the hell out of me. So I don't necessarily begrudge anyone giving him a free pass, because he has been a terror. Man, I can't see, this camera is like backwards. Everything's reversed, so I'm like moving my hat the wrong way to try to straighten it. It's not like looking in the mirror, I promise you that. But yeah, so we're working our way through. I don't like, though, I think this was a good addition by the Brewers, honestly, to bring Andrew McCutchen in, because he really gives them a formidable bat protecting Christian Yelich in these situations. It's just a much tougher at bat to have to deal with than what the Brewers have had in the past, which has been really kind of like a hodgepodge of guys who, I don't know, Travis Shaw, and who else did they have? They had, John, what is his, Jesus Aguilar, and what was the guy? What was the left-handed guy? Eric Thames, guys like that who they're powerful bats, but they have giant holes in their swings. And so you can find ways to get them out. Andrew McCutchen is a pain in the neck. He is, not to say that you can't get him out, but you are going to have to risk him destroying the ball somewhere in order to get him out. Like he's not going to chase. He's not going to chase trash. He's going to be very disciplined. And when you put the ball over the plate, he's going to put a good swing on it. So your work is cut out for you. There are a lot of these guys who they have a bit of danger built into them because they can put the ball, they can hit the ball deep, but they have big holes in their swings. So as long as you can exploit those holes and you don't make a mistake, you can get them out pretty easily. And that's one of the things that, like, I'm a huge Cubs fan, but I got to be honest, that's one of the things I didn't like about Sammy Sosa. There were these moments late in games where a dominant pitcher for the opposition in the late innings would come in. Wow. So I just said it. Now he did. He had to risk. Andrew McCutcheon put a hell of a swing on that ball, but Stroman did a really good job of fading that thing low and in and got it just under his hands. And so he got the strikeout. So the Cubs escape, still hanging on to that 3-1 lead, leaving Christian Yelich at first. That was a heck of a pitch by Stroman because it was off the plate. But it started off a strike and then faded. It was a little changeup that kind of tailed back, or a two-seam fastball that tailed back to the inside part of the plate and low kind of dove on McCutcheon and went right under his hands, and he couldn't get the bat head down to it. But I don't remember what I was saying. But yeah, you want to have those guys who can have those pain in the neck type of at bats. Those are the guys you want. And it's frustrating because, like, I kind of felt that way about Jason Hayward back in 2015 when he was with the Cardinals. He was a really tough out that year. And I think in large part what he did to the Cubs and what his body of work for that season, because I think he batted like 293 and had like 15 home runs or 12 home runs or something like that. Like, he had a pretty good year. And he's a Gold Glove defensive player, like great, one of the best, if not the best, right fielders in baseball. And so the crazy thing is, John Mozeliak with the Cardinals offered him more money over the same amount of time than the Cubs did. And Hayward decided to go to the Cubs because he preferred the culture that the Cubs were building. And I'm sure there may have been some other reasons too, but that was the decision that Jason Hayward made. And I think a lot of that, the reason for the push for him was because people saw it as, oh, okay, he's figuring things out. And now at 26 years old, he's finally going to find that promise. And this is the prime of his career. And everything that made him a first-round draft pick and made him that monster that he was his first year with the Braves is going to come back. And now he's going to be, this. I think there were people who were thinking he might be a 25 to 35 home run a season guy as he got into the prime of his career. As you get older, you tend to develop a little bit more power, bulk up a little bit more. And if your plate discipline and everything else and your swing path is still good, but Hayward has like this little hitch in his swing, and he just had some issues getting over that. And his career ever since has just kind of been a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's been a mild roller coaster hanging around the 700 to 750 OPS range, which has been disappointing. I'm not going to lie. He had a couple of decent years in there, but nothing that really justified that massive contract. But his defense, and listen, I'll say this much as a Cubs fan. If you tell me going into the 2016 offseason, all right, check it out, we're going to sign Jason Hayward to a 10-year, like $280 million or whatever it was, $250 million contract. Okay. Or no, it was 8 and 184, I think is what it was. We're going to sign Jason Hayward to an 8-year, $184 million contract. And his offensive production is not going to come anywhere close to justifying that number. But later this season, it's going to be Game 7 of the World Series. And he's going to give a speech in the locker room that is going to inspire the Cubs to come out and fight for a World Series championship in Game 7 in extra innings. Done. Sold. Where do I sign? Because you got to remember, at that point, as Cubs fans, it had been a long dry spell. So I'm not saying that that's the thing, that's the reason that they won the World Series, but it played a role. And if that role cost $184 million over 8 years and not a lot of offensive production to justify that money, the rest of it does definitely justify that money. The score is 3-1 Cubs. We are in the bottom of the third inning, and Alfonso Rivas is at the plate, batting against Freddy Peralta. So, yeah, so that's the deal. That's what's going on here. But yeah, so that Jason Hayward contract was a lot of money to spend on a guy who his offensive numbers didn't live up to it. But man, if that's what it took to get that World Series championship, I'll take it. Even if it means that we had to go through a little bit of a dry spell here the last couple of years where getting bounced in the first round and then not even making the playoffs last year and really kind of having to I don't know, kind of upchuck the roster and unfortunately watch some Cubs greats leave and go to other places. That 2016 World Series ring, it doesn't go away. This is forever. So I'll take it. Rivas still batting, 2-2 count, 1 out, bottom of the third, and Freddy Peralta pitching. Cubs looking to see if they can answer that solo shot by Willy Adames by scraping across another run here, and Rivas strikes out. That was a nice little changeup, low and away. That's the thing. Like when you can really work that low and away stuff to lefties as a right-handed pitcher, you give yourself a good opportunity. But here is the man of the hour, Seiya Suzuki, and as he steps to the plate, we are going to give one more look at this monster bomb that he hit off of Freddy Peralta a couple of innings ago. Monster shot. And that gave the Cubs the 3-0 lead that has since been winnowed down to a 3-1 lead. But here is Suzuki again as Peralta dots the low and away corner of the strike zone for strike one. I want to know how y'all are feeling. What do y'all think about this this new look Cubs roster? No more Javi Baez, no more KB, no more John Lester, Jake Arrieta, no more Anthony Rizzo. There's a lot of pieces missing from that Cubs roster that had become, mainstays, household names in Cubs lore. How do you guys feel about the new look guys, the Nick Madrigals and the Nico Horners coming up, and then Seiya Suzuki, a new guy being added to the mix? Y'all like what you're seeing? Frank Schwindel and Patrick Wisdom coming off the scrap heap and just mashing at the latter stages of their career. Maybe not latter stages for Schwindel, but I think Patrick Wisdom was starting to feel like, as a first-round draft pick by the Cardinals a while back, starting to feel the pressure of really living up to his promise as a major leaguer, because there was a lot expected of him, and people saw a lot of promise in what he brought to the table, and he is just now starting to see that materialize and come to fruition. Seiya Suzuki still at the plate, 2 outs, a 2-2 count here in the bottom of the third. And Peralta looking to get out of this with no further damage. That one just missed. Wow. That was a good pitch, but it did miss. It was off by a ball or so outside. And Suzuki is just he's very disciplined. I really like the way that he approaches his plate appearances. as Peralta is going to throw his 70th pitch in 3 innings here in a moment. It's a big deal because I doubt he'll get through. I doubt he'll pitch a 5th inning. I doubt he even takes the mound for the 5th inning as Suzuki draws the walk. So now you got Suzuki at first. And that's the thing. Like, that home run didn't go to his head. Hits a bomb in his first at-bat today, his first home run in his career. And now look at that. His first 2 games, he has seen 41 pitches with 60% of them being outside the zone, and he has chased 4.2% of those pitches. So I get, what is that, like 2 pitches he's chased outside the zone? And now Clint Frazier comes up. And we talked about him the first time he came up. I got high hopes for Clint Frazier. I look back at those numbers that he put up, a couple of years ago, and he's a guy to watch. He could actually have a pretty nice resurgence here in a Cub uniform. Let's see, what year was it that he mashed for the Yankees? 2019 and 2020? Yeah. What? Hang on just a second. Okay, whatever. All right. So, yeah, 2019 and 2020, he had identical 267 batting averages, but he had a 317 on-base percentage in 19 and a 394 on base in 2020 with a 489 slugging and a 511 slugging, respectively, in those 2 seasons for an 806 and 905 OPS. Then he had a terrible year last year. Granted, only in 183 at-bats, but he batted 186 with a 317 slugging and a 317 on base. So that's, I think, why he was so inexpensively available to the Cubs this year, as Peralta continues to struggle to find the zone in this 3-1 game. That's why I think Clint Frazier was so inexpensive for the Cubs. And I think there's great promise for him to return to that form. He's still young, and this could turn out to be a very good pickup for the Cubs. He swung right through that one, though. That was a good pitch by Peralta. Little changeup. And, he threw that changeup, hung it right down the middle, and Frazier just swung right through it. That one, he had an opportunity there to smash it. 3-2 count, runner on first, and he strikes him out with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball up and right over the middle. So the Cubs fail to answer that Willy Adames home run. It's 3-1 as we go to the 4th inning, and that, my friends, I think we'll wrap today's show. I might come on briefly at the end for a little post-game report, wrap-up, whatever you want to call it. But I appreciate everybody for coming on. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and share this with all your Cubs friends, Cubs fan friends and family, and let them know about the show, because this is a place where you can come out to just kind of hang out and shoot the breeze with fellow Cubs fans and watch and enjoy. And I don't know if you like my commentary, you can come and enjoy more of that. If you don't like my commentary, feel free to argue with me in the chat. I'm not afraid. I'm more than willing to have some back and forth and kind of go through some stuff. If you don't agree with my takes on things, I would love to hear it, and I'd love to kind of work through that stuff, and maybe I'll learn a little bit from you guys. So that's the approach here. We're just friends sitting around the bar, having a beer, watching the Cubs play, and hoping that at the end of every broadcast, we'll get to fly this bad boy. So anyway, I'm not going to open it up. It's bad luck to open the W flag before the game's over. But as always, whenever we're out here and we're getting our work done, watching the Cubs play, the one thing that we always want to do when it's all said and done is fly the W. Let's go. Go Cubs go. I'm going to send you guys home. We're going to go through our little video segment as we go out. One more time, in case you didn't get a chance to see it, I'm going to let you guys. Here is our man Seiya Suzuki hitting his first major league home run in a regular season game. He had a couple in the spring training era, but this one was a monster shot. Actually, that one, I think he probably hit that one better than either of the ones he hit in spring training. He crushed it and sent it out to left field. So with that, I will tell you what Seiya Suzuki told that ball. He said, sayonara. And so arigato for coming out and joining us for the show. Wrigleyville South. We'll be back again. But for now, we're out of here. Peace, y'all.